Alrighty guys, it's Kristen. Welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be going over my plant wish list. So I thought it would be fun to kind of show you guys the plants that I am most interested in / would like to buy at some point in time. It might not be within the next year, but you know, over my lifetime I would like to buy some of these. So this is the Pinterest board that I have set up for all of these plants, and I'll just kind of like let you look at it and kind of go over. You might see some common themes such as variegation. There's a lot of allocation on this list actually, but let's get into the ones that are so expensive I will probably never own them, but I love them very dearly, and if I can get my hands on them, I would die. So let's start off with this philodendron caramel marble. And it just, like, the leaves on this are just absolutely gorgeous. Like, it's really similar to the Ring of Fire, but you have these more pinky, orangey tone leaves that can come in with your variegation. And I just really like how, like, there's a fun shape to the leaves, too. Because not a lot of my plants, the shape of the leaves is, like, the fun part. Most of them are just, like, variegated, so they're pretty. But I absolutely love this leaf shape and just the tones that happen with this marbling. However, they are super duper expensive. Like, I think most caramel marble philodendrons are like probably upwards of $100, and I don't particularly have that kind of money right now. Much less have that kind of money to be spending on a plant. In a similar fashion to that is the strawberry shake philodendron. I absolutely love these, and my local plant store actually usually has several cuttings of this available at any point in time, but like one cutting is like $80 or like upwards of that, which is once again expensive. Like, I don't want to spend more than $50 on a plant, and even then I really don't want to spend that kind of money on a plant right now. But I love, like, it reminds me of the Pink Princess, which I have, but the variegation is slightly different. So it's also kind of like, do I really need this plant if I already have a Pink Princess philodendron? Probably not, but you know, you can always dream. You can always dream. And then along similar lines of the Pink Princess philodendron and the strawberry shake philodendron, I really want an orange princess philodendron, which this is a recently new kind of philodendron that I think came out just this year that I started seeing them. And the reason why I love this plant is because I actually have a Prince of Orange philodendron. If you watched my plant tour that I did back in, I want to say either December or November I did it, and I love having the bright orange leaves because a lot of my variegation is either white or cream or pink, so I really wanted to like have something different, and I thought that an orange variegated plant would be out of the box, and so I got the Prince of Orange philodendron, which, don't get me wrong, I liked that plant, but I thought that the leaves would stay orange a lot longer than they actually do. Like, I think I got that plant and then like a week or two later, the orange had already faded and it was just a normal green color, which I would prefer something like this where it keeps its orange variegation. But last I knew, like, I think this has like a link to a shop and they're trying to sell like this itty bitty 4-inch plant for like $400, which is my car payment almost. So like, I cannot be affording an orange princess philodendron, but maybe one day, because plants have a habit of like getting super expensive when they're new, but then once like everything kind of calms down, they can be really cheap. Like, I know that happened with the Pink Princess philodendron, where it was originally like around like $400, $100 to get a plant or a cutting, and now they're like $30 at the HEB. So the next plant on my I wish I could afford this plant list is a black velvet alocasia pink variegated. I love the juxtaposition of this black velvety texture against the pink, and it's really funny because I actually have a lot slash I'm interested in a lot of pink variegated plants, which I refused to wear the color pink as a kid. I mean, I wear the color pink now sometimes if I have a shirt that is, but it's rare. It's not like I used to hate it and now I don't, and I really love this variegation. But in my local plant shop also usually has these, but once again, they're really expensive, so I just cannot afford to have these expensive plants. This, I think, is the only Hoya on the list out of all the plants that I want, and it's a Hoya carnosa Wilbur Graves, and it just, this variegation is so beautiful, and it reminds me a lot of my Super Silver that I already have, my Super Silver Cronia Hoya carnosa, and this splashing, but this is just, it's mostly gray and then with like splashing of green, I feel like is kind of the difference, and it has bigger leaves than my Super Silver, but this is gorgeous, and these are cheaper. Like, this would probably be maybe a doable plant on like a really good sale day, if I could find one, because like I think they're usually around $80, so that's a little bit more reasonable and in my price range for being able to buy it. But I love this speckling. I love this speckling. I love variegated plants, if you can't tell. And then the last plant on my I wish I had money for this is the Philodendron Micans Albo slash Pink. And I think, so I had seen some of these because once again, my local plant shop has some of these. They're just super expensive to buy. And I remember telling my dad about it. And if you guys haven't seen did I put it in yet? Actually, I don't think I actually formally introduced my plant to this channel yet. Hold on. So I know that I posted a birthday short about this plant, but my dad got me this plant from Hawaii for my birthday, and she needs to be watered, or he needs to be watered, but it is a variegated halo Philodendron Micans, and like the leaves have this white striping around the edges, and then in some of the leaves you can also see, you might not be able to see it very well in this lighting, but like they also have a darker green variegation. So I had told my dad that I wanted this plant, the Philodendron Micans variegated, and I wasn't very specific, and he was so kind to buy me this plant, and he thought it was the one that I really wanted. But I'm still really excited to have this plant because I don't have it, and it is a variegated plant, and it's beautiful. It's already so beautiful, and I can't wait to see what it looks like once the leaves get bigger and I can like make a more full pot. And it already has this growth point that was growing in once he got it, so I'm super excited about this plant. But when I was really talking to my dad, it was about this plant instead, which once again, I think it's beautiful. The variegation just steals my heart. Steals my heart. So now we can get more into like, I could probably actually afford these plants, slash I might get these plants at some point. And let's start with the Ring of Fire Philodendron. So this obviously has the wavy edges that the Philodendron Caramel Marble does. However, it is more orangey toned and more like cream and light green variegation instead. And actually, I found one of these at H-E-B. I don't know how expensive it was because it didn't have a tag on it, but like the leaves are also kind of super wrecked, I think. So this is totally a doable plant if it's at the H-E-B. And I think sometimes my local plant store has them as well. So let's skip down to here. This is the Snow and Summer Asian Jasmine, which I think is more kind of like a shrub or like an outside plant that people would put it like in their like garden beds or something. But I absolutely love this striking variegation. Once again, like I'm just a sucker for variegated plants, and I think having a more bushy, shrubby plant would be interesting because, of course, I have a lot of aroids, I have a lot of pothos, so they don't really look like this when they are growing, taken care of. But next, I have the black ZZ, or like the Raven ZZ plant, and you can also see here the green typical form. I just think that would be really fun to have a black plant, and if you don't know, uh, leaves that have a darker green color usually can handle lower light tolerances, so I think it would be really easy to just stick this in a corner and kind of let it do its thing. My aunt has one of these actually. This would just be a fun little decor piece that should be relatively easy to take care of. Really, so I will do a roundup of plants that I really want to buy off this list at the end, but I really want to get a fern. However, from what I know, they take a lot of humidity, and I don't have that currently. Even though sometimes I can walk outside and like I will immediately start sweating because it is so humid outside. The humidity in my house does not reflect that. I actually got a humidifier for Christmas, and it normally registers like if I like when I first turned it on, I think it was like 40% humidity in here. So honestly, I have no idea how some of my plants that require higher humidities are still like living their best lives, but they're alive still, which is crazy. And I know that I've heard that ferns take a lot of high humidity, and that's why people like suggest you put them in your bathroom. And of course, living in an apartment, my bathroom doesn't have windows, so, and I don't want to put grow lights in my bathroom slash have to keep my lights on all the time to be able to feed it. So this one I might not get now, but maybe when I move after I graduate, I can buy a fern because I just ferns are special to me. I also want to get a fern tattoo at some point in the near future. All right, next is this Alocasia cuprea Secret Red, and I actually have a lot of Alocasia on this list, which is surprising because I have one Alocasia and it's kind of died on me, and then I regrew it from the corms, and it's doing fine now. But I've heard that Alocasia can be really tricky. But I love this pattern, like just these deep ribs are gorgeous to me, and also I just love this striking red purple color. Like it's a color I don't already have in my collection, and I want a colorful collection. I want to have a lot of variety in the colors that I have, and so I think that this would just be a beautiful color addition to my collection already that I have. Now this is the variegated artillery fern, which kind of gives me the same vibes as the jasmine that I showed you earlier, so I might not need both of them. I could probably just settle for one or the other, but I don't know, because like this one not only has the pink variegation going on, but it also has like this cream, light green, dark green variegation in some of its leaves too, which I just think are beautiful, and it's a different structure of plant, but this is also on the list of plants that I would potentially want if they came up. Just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I don't have any peperomia currently, and honestly, peperomia are not plants that I'm normally attracted to. However, I found this peperomia caparita pink lady one day when I was just like scrolling through like Etsy or something, and I just, once again, this beautiful pink variegation is just so beautiful and cute, and just another easy plant to take care of, I'm assuming. Oh, I didn't tell you guys, but this fern is a Japanese painted fern, and then I also like the Regal Red Lady fern as well, which is this one, which the leaf shape is a little bit different, and most of the color is in the stems instead of like the actual leaves themselves. Now, if you guys watched my Christmas plant mission that I was on. You all know that in that video I debuted my beautiful Thai constellation that I own. And I kind of talked about in there how like I didn't know if I wanted to keep my regular Monstera Deliciosa or not, which I have kept it. I do still have it. But this kind of follows along the same lines of like, do I really need a Monstera Albo if I already have a Thai constellation and I already have a regular Monstera Deliciosa? I don't think I would buy this plant, but if someone else bought me this plant, or like if someone had a cutting maybe on like one of my buy, sell, and trade sites, I would think about getting it because like I don't want to spend big money on it, especially when I already have several Monstera plants that are variegated. That it's not a need, but if it happened, I wouldn't be mad about it. I wouldn't be mad about it if it happened. Next is cordylines. So I have seen several of these around town, and I'm almost tempted to just go take a leaf. I don't, but I'm so tempted because like I just like that they're trees. I like that they're trees. I have a couple ficus that I'm so excited for when they actually turn into like legitimate trees. But at this point, I don't have anything of that size. But I just think that, this is just these tall leaves. It's a color that I don't already have in the collection, like we've already talked about with that other alocasia. So I just think that these would be so nice to have in like a corner of the living room or something one day when I have a nice big apartment house to display all my plants in, and they don't have to be stuck in between two windows. Next is what is commonly known as the mini monstera, or Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. I just like it because it's a little climbing plant. It's a little mini monstera. They're very cute. My friend Cameron actually has one of these plants that I was taking care of for him over the summer at one point, and I was very tempted to steal a leaf. However, his didn't. A lot of the leaves on the bottom kind of died, and so most of the leaves were at the top that he had. This is another alocasia that I have on the list, which is the Colocasia mojito alocasia. And I like the little V shape that we have going on to the leaves here, but this is just variegation that I do not have, and that variegation that I just do not see. Because in my opinion, this variegation, and it could just be the photos and not like this in real life, but this almost looks blue to me, like a deep navy blue, which I think is crazy variegation. I just don't see anywhere else. And I would love to have a blue plant because it's a blue plant. So once again, alocasia, scary, but just another variegation that I don't have that I think is really interesting and different. This is another new plant that came out this year. I was watching a YouTuber. It was Harley G, and I think she was just like going out to like the big box stores and just seeing what was available, like vlog style. And she showed a lemon meringue pothos, and I love this variegation. Like, I just think it's so pretty. It's so cool. I have a thing for pothos. Gotta collect them all, kind of almost. So I really want to get a lemon meringue pothos, and I think it's totally doable. I haven't seen any near me, or I think one of the local plant shops in town got them in like a couple months ago, and I didn't have the money to pick one up, but that is on the list. Here is another alocasia. So this is the alocasia sinuata quilted dreams, and I just think that this matured form, like, it is so, like, it almost reminds me of like dinosaur skin, just these deep grooves and patterns, and the black leading out into the dark green. Also, it could just be another instance of the photos look super good and doesn't actually look like this in person, but I love the contrast that's going on. I love the textural difference going on. So that's another one. And then we only have 3 more to take a look at. So let's round out our alocasias. So this is an Alocasia Hilo Beauty. Once again, just beautiful, beautiful variegation that is fun, interesting, different, new. I love speckled things. My favorite type of pigeons slash seagulls are the speckled ones. So my favorite kind of dogs are speckled dogs. I got a thing for speckles, and so this would fit right into there. And then the last alocasia that we have on the list is the alocasia Jacqueline. And my local plant shop has some, and I think I actually will buy one this year. I love this leaf shape. Look at that leaf shape. Like, it is funky, it is fresh, and then not to mention the veining on the leaves themselves, and then the stalks are kind of striped as well and like zebra-ish. So I just think that this is just a gorgeous, unique plant to own and have and be able to display. And then the last plant that is on this list, I just did a very generic, I just took this photo that someone has of all the different types. I want ivy. I want ivy so bad. I've been wanting to get an ivy plant all year, and none of my local plant stores have had any, other than the Pothead Plant Shop did, but like, they were nice, but not what I wanted entirely, because I would like a variegated version. If it ain't got spots, I don't want it. But when I was at home in Michigan, like I went to Meijer's, which is like a grocery store, if you don't know what Meijer's is, and their plant section was popping off with the ivy, like huge, beautiful, variegated hanging baskets of ivy, and it took everything in my soul not to buy one and bring it back with me, because I just have already spent too much money that month on like gas and presents and whatnot. So I would love to just have like this yellow kind of variegated ivy, and all these are hydrohelix types, which I found some at Lowe's in my Christmas plant mission when I was looking. So this is definitely a doable plant that I see myself getting in the next year. So that is all the plants that are on my current plant wish list. I think these are beautiful and gorgeous, and I wish I could have them all. But let me tell you the ones that I for sure see myself buying in the next year. So in the next year, I'm going to buy an alocasia Jacqueline. I know I'm going to buy one. They're beautiful, unique, stunning. I'm going to buy an alocasia Jacqueline. I also am going to buy some kind of ivy. Mostly because I want to put it on my bookshelf, because I just think that would be very picturesque, and ivy grows pretty easily from what I know. I also see myself getting a lemon meringue pothos, because really easy to take care of. I think it'll be doable to buy in a local big store at some point. And honestly, those are like my top 3 plants that I really want this year, that I'm like, if I see these, I'm going to buy them. Everything else I can kind of take it or leave it, depending on, what financial situations are looking like, what my plant collection's looking like, because I have killed a couple plants by accident. My Calathea Viviana, my striped Calathea, unfortunately dried out to crispy crunchiness while I was gone in Michigan. I didn't have the person looking after take care of my plants, which maybe I should have just had him water that plant, because it might still be alive, and that plant kind of, while it wasn't a plant that I picked or my favorite plant, it did have good memories attached to it, so I guess I should have taken better care of it. But it is what it is. I just now have an open space for one of these 3 plants to fit in and not cause me to have to do even more extraneous watering. So those are the top 3 plants I will probably buy in the next year, is an alocasia Jacqueline, some form of ivy, and a lemon meringue pothos. But you guys let me know, what do you want from your plants? Do you like variegated plants? Do you have very specific plants that you are in love with? Like, are you a die-hard begonia person? Are you a die-hard alocasia person? I want to have a decent variety of colors and plant types in my collection. So I'm excited to see what this year brings with me when it comes to buying plants. I have lots of coupons that I haven't used / rewards that I haven't used for my plant shop in town. So maybe next month I will go do a little sneaky peeky looking and see if they have anything good. But these are my wish list plants. let me know. Do you also want any of these plants? Do you have certain plants on your wish list that you've been dying to have? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!